All right, we're about 25 miles from Point Pleasant, going to the Mothman Festival. My friend.
We're going where?
Did I not tell you before? With my friend Doug here.
I thought we were going to a Ohio State game.
Well, we changed our plans. So get ready to go visit Mothman Central in Point Pleasant. We'll go to the game later. You can go later. Should be interesting, should be entertaining from what I'm told. So about 20 or 30,000 people are going to be there, plus us. So should be fun.
I doubt it.
That's the spirit. Not looking forward to the Mothman Festival.
The what man?
The Mothman.
The Batman?
Mothman.
What is that about?
We'll see. Anyway, we'll arrive tonight, maybe get some cool souvenirs and check out the area and see what it's all about. We're down in Point Pleasant for the Mothman Festival and talking to a nice lady at the bookstore. This is Willa's Bible Bookstore. Mm-hmm. And it's right in the middle of all the stuff going on, so it's interesting, a different take on all the stuff. So she was just telling us about the role of the store and what they do and how this kind of fits into the festival. So tell us about that. How does the store fit into the...
Well, it's obviously a Christian Bible bookstore, and it's a fascinating history here in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Everything from back to the Native American culture into the American colonialist history. We are the oldest city on the Ohio River. And of course, then we have everything up to post-industrial World War II history. And then, of course, Mothman, which is probably classified as kind of sci-fi, witnessing, that kind of thing. And so basically, it is some of your locals who witnessed something that was not of this world or something that could not be explained, whether you look at that as an unidentified aerial phenomena. But in the history of the Mothman archives is the entire Ohio Valley essentially was lit up in the 1960s with a lot of unidentified phenomena that went on. So what our role here is in the Bible bookstore from the Christian perspective is whatever people believe in that particular unidentified phenomena is they have to do their individual interpretation and figure out what that is and do search and research on it and to basically look at their own spiritual needs and then look at what they feel is leading that. So we're a local business here. We welcome the Mothman Festival and the fans. We sell a variety of products. And so that's basically our take on our role is this. We are here locally.
Cool. It's a different view, really.
Yeah, we're here locally, and everyone's welcome to come to the Bible bookstore. We hope they do, and hope they enjoy the Mothman Festival. And we hope that they utilize some of our research and some of our archival history and things that are here locally, because this whole area is rich in history, very, very old history, and so we hope they look into that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Here, we just met my friend Parker here. He's from
Virginia. Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, Virginia, and you're here. What brings you to the festival?
I was free. It seemed cool, and I wanted to see more of the country.
Very nice. All right, so you're in the Mothman too?
Oh yeah, cryptids are very cool.
Cryptid. Okay. What got you into that?
The Assyrian staircase hoax from when I was like 13 years old. It was like the classic MC Escher staircase thing. Someone did a really convincing fake, and it blew my mind and made me convinced me that more than what I thought was possible was possible. And I've been fascinated with extraterrestrial and supernatural stuff ever since.
You go around other places like this. It's your first time being at a festival.
First
like
time
this?
being at a festival
First
like
time?
this.
Okay. What are you guys gonna do? You gonna do a hayride? You gonna do some lectures?
Hayride, check out some of those paranormal lectures. Maybe drink a little bit.
Okay.
Contribute to the GDP of Point Pleasant.
Got you. All right.
Yeah, we're here to hang out, have fun.
Yeah.
What are you hoping to learn here, man?
What am I hoping to learn? I just wanted to come see what it was all about. I got into Mothman a couple of years ago. It was one of my favorite stories when it comes to the UFO lore kind of thing. And my friend would come with me, so I thought it'd be fun to hang out with him and just kind of see what it was all about and talk to people like you and see why they're all coming. Yeah.
Awesome.
Just have fun. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Hey, here at the Mothman Festival, this is James, and he is, tell us about yourself while you're here. I know you got an exhibit here. You're going to be speaking, one of the speakers actually in a few hours at the church down the road. So
Yeah.
What brings you here?
Jeff Walmsley from the Mothman Museum asked me to come down.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I've been, I guess technically I'm an author and a paranormal researcher. I've been doing that since 1985, which makes me feel incredibly old. And I've written a bunch of books, and way back in 2007, 2008, 2009, I would come down and speak at the Mothman Festival. Been away for a while and came back, and this is just more than a little intimidating about the size of this, and there's Mothman everything, pancakes and lattes and all sorts of things. So no, it's great. But yeah, I'll be speaking at 4 o'clock at the Church Community Center, which I've never spoken inside of a church community center. So we'll see if flames.
So you've been there for years, though, and you said you actually spoke to Linda Scarberry when she was doing this a while back.
I did.
So you've been there for a while.
Yeah, and they had, when it was a lot smaller, they would occasionally have people that were associated with the Mothman sightings. John Keel was down here.
Oh, wow.
His
Okay.
passing.
Wow.
But yeah, Linda Scarberry, I interviewed her and then just talked with her really about her experiences from the original thing, which I think is really kind of, when you hear the stories, it's one thing, and you're kind of like, really, is that what happened?
But when you talk to the people,
but
it's
to
different.
actually, and just kind of like look them in the eye, and you can see that, specifically with Linda, after all those years, there was still some sort of pain and nervousness about talking about it. So that was kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, that is interesting. So most of your books, I think, look like they're on ghosts. Is that what your main thing is?
Yeah,
That you
I
write
guess
about?
my main jam, I guess,
Okay.
is like ghosts, but inevitably I fell into all sorts of strange and spooky things, which is why I call it my strange and spooky world, because I, growing up in the Hudson Valley, New York State, I was no more than a stone's throw from everything from Sleepy Hollow to Long Island, where that infamous Amityville house is.
Okay, yeah.
Son of Sam killings.
Wow, there's a lot up there. I didn't realize that.
There were UFO flaps all through the Hudson Valley in the 80s, so it was kind of like have weirdness will travel, and I didn't really have to go that far to find all of it, so it just kind of all mixed together.
Now, have you ever had your own experience with anything?
I have had numerous experiences, and some of them I'm talking about at my presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking at 4 p.m., and I think that's where the excitement comes from, because most of my presentations I start by saying, not everything is a ghost, not everything is a Bigfoot, and you can see the people kind of nervously sort of shift around in their chairs like, what kind of talk is this going to be? And then I hit them with, now I'm not going to tell you what this is, only that I cannot explain it. Here's what happened to me, and then I tell the story, I show the video or play the audio, and I let people decide what they think that it actually is. So yeah, I have had numerous, what I guess you would call ghost encounters over the years. There's been a few cases where people have actually seen what I believe would be my doppelganger or double, where they're like, you were just over in that room, and I'm like, I wasn't even in the building at the time.
What's your explanation for all that? Seeing these things you've seen that you think are ghosts?
This is what my favorite explanation is, which I love, but it feels like a cop-out, but it's not. I just say, I don't know, but it's cool, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it is, and once you're left with it wasn't these 50 or 60 different normal explanations. What you are left with is it's unexplained. It's not normal, it's paranormal. So and that's what I think really drives me through all of this is I don't have all the answers, and I don't want them. I don't want to have all the answers, because what happens is that would be a boring world if we had answers to everything. And it was like, well, what about that? No, that's this. So I like the idea of not knowing. People sort of laugh at me sometimes because I'm one of the few people that when someone says, hey, in what year did that song come out? That if I don't know the answer, I don't Google it immediately, because there's that little bit of time where I'm like, this is something I didn't know. I kind of revel in that. So it makes my job a lot easier.
Oh, that's cool, yeah.
When something happens, I'm just like, I don't know, but it's cool, right?
You want to show us some of your books?
Sure.
Are they available on Amazon and those kind of places?
They are, yeah.
Okay.
Everywhere you can purchase books.
Yeah, a lot of cool looking books over here. I'm going to get this one. What are some of these books about? These are about your experiences.
This book is about Ohio's historic haunts.
Okay.
That's something, huh?
Yeah.
No, this particular book I did with Kent State University Press, and it's about the premise behind the book is that some historic buildings in Ohio over time gain a reputation as being haunted, and that even if you can't validate the haunting, the ghost story can still work to keep history alive.
Right.
So it's kind of an interesting blend of ghost story, ghost lore, and actual ghost investigations. This is the book where I did get locked inside of the buildings overnight, sometimes by myself, so that was sort of interesting.
Look forward to reading it then.
The big book of Ohio ghost stories is, I guess the big one, and see, it's clearly paranormal. It just like floated through the air there. I don't know what happened. I guess big book is up to the reader. It's not that big, but it is a collection of Ohio's most well-known ghost stories. Not necessarily the true ghost stories, but they are the ones that people from Ohio flip through it and they're like, oh wow, Crybaby Bridge, I've been there. And you're like, did anything happen? And they're like, no, absolutely nothing, but we left our friend there and ran away. It was great fun. So it's the idea of just sort of looking through your childhood, almost going back through it. These over here, these maps are actually done by some guy who calls himself a cartographer, which I didn't even know what that was, but it's somebody who makes maps. And he's right there.
Oh wow!
That's Jeff Craig, who I have known for many years.
Very cool.
We met when he joined my group, the Ghosts of Ohio, and we were going around, and I had been for years in Athens, Ohio. There is the legend of the Athens pentagram, which they said that if you connect 5 cemeteries together on a map, they form a pentagram. And in most stories, it's Wilson Hall of Ohio University is in the middle of it. I went into all sorts of map stores and said, hi, I'm James A. Willis, and I'm doing research on this, about this, lining these up on a map. And they all ran me out of their stores because they thought that I was practicing the black arts or something like that.
Okay.
And then I met Jeff, and Jeff was like, oh wow, yeah, that'd be cool. And so he actually started going to them and putting them onto the map.
Did it work?
The points. Well, the odd thing is that it's very confusing as to which of the 5 cemeteries make up the pentagram. In some cases, it's 4 cemeteries and then Mount Nebo. Athens is, once you get outside of the Athens proper, it's a lot of farms. There's 660, I should say 666, 660 cemeteries in Athens County. So I always joke and say you could make the Athens rhombus if you wanted to. You could make a pentagram if you wanted to. You just got to kind of look at where you were going.
Well, very nice. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. Looking forward to checking your books out. So thanks.
Thank you.
Before I have my 2 Mothman eyewitness interviews, I want to walk around and just get a feel for the whole thing so you can see it. That was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. People walking around. There's Mothman right there. All kind of people dressed up in various costumes. Things that had nothing to do with Mothman. I saw some Ghostbusters that were taking pictures. People walking around enjoying themselves with the vendors. People came out and who go around these kinds of events with their own merchandise and whatnot. walking around, selling things, people eating food, having a good time. People here who were from TV shows like Expedition Bigfoot. There's one right there. I forgot which one that was from. But people going around, seeing things, doing things. It's just people having a good time. Some people play music. There's people from the Paranormal Road Tripper said that this is the biggest festival they've been to like this. There's Mothman. People standing in line to see him. And there's Mothman Museum. And they are going to many times touch what is affectionately known as the Shiny Hiney and leave beans and drinks and food there for them. I'm not sure what that's all about, but that's what they do. And so these are some of the vendors here, some of the speakers of the Mothman, a couple of their eyewitnesses right there on the left. We're going to look at them, talk to them later. And the line on the left is a line to get into the museum. It took, I heard, several hours to get into the museum. So people were really interested in getting in there. It's a pretty good museum. There's a gift shop and there's lots of newspaper clippings and stuff from the movie. So lots of people standing in line here. Here's the place where they're having a live band. People that's out having a good time listening to music. And time for the interviews. All right, well, I'm here with Linda Sigmund. She is an eyewitness of Mothman. I'm just reading her book. It is called Beyond the Pale Moonlight, a UFO Mothman Encounter. It's on Amazon. I'll leave a link to it in the description. But this happened on April 15th, 1967. So what can you tell us about it?
My boyfriend and I went looking for the Mothman, not thinking we were ever going to find him. So my parents had told me to stay away from the TNT area because of all the hoopla that was going on.
So you're from here?
I'm from Pomeroy.
Okay.
I grew up in Pomeroy, Ohio.
Okay.
So my boyfriend and I went in Mason, West Virginia, and that's where he's from. And we went back in the country, and it was still daylight, and we pulled in and got out and sat on the hood of his car. And we were sitting there about 10 minutes, and we saw a light to our right, and it was like a big full moon, and it was a UFO. Well, he jumped down off the car. I was still there because I was just so very curious. And I said, "What is that? What is that?" And I watched it, and it came right above the car, and it just covered up the whole expanse of the sky.
Wow.
And I'm like, it didn't make any noise, only like a small whirring sound or a small sucking sound. It sounded like a vacuum cleaner.
Okay.
But it was a lot quieter.
Okay.
And we sat there for a few minutes, and I had some lost time. I remember falling off of the car. And the next thing I remember, I was in the car on the passenger side, and we pulled forward. The object that was above us started going forward, and I looked up, and you just couldn't see the sky at all.
Wow.
And as we started forward, the creature that I perceived to be Mothman, like a 8 to 9 foot tall, man-looking winged black creature, flew across the hood of our car from the left to the right up into the trees. Well, my boyfriend was so busy trying to get the car started, he didn't even see it. And it flew up in the trees, and we fishtailed and out and went on down over the hill. Now, the story gets longer here, but I won't tell it all. I'll tell you that I was regressed in 2017 through the Round Town UFO Society. There was a licensed therapist that would do regression.
Okay.
I knew there was a lot, but I went from 1967 to 2017 before I actually found out what happened. I remember everything from the regression. And I had slipped down off the car, and when I slipped down, I know this sounds fantastic, but I fell on his feet, the creature.
Okay.
And I remember looking up, and all I could see was these feet and gray legs, and I was tiny.
This is during the regression?
During the regression. And the regression is online.
Oh, okay.
You can watch that. And the creature picked me up and carried me over to the car. And my boyfriend was sitting in the car behind the steering wheel. And he grabs him, pulls him out, and I was just in a stupor. he put me across the seat, bench seats of a 56 Chevy. And when the door went bang, that's when I guess I came to and saw the creature fly in front of us up into. No doubt in my mind, it was a winged creature of some sort. People say, what do you think it is? Do you think it was here for being harbinger of doom, or do you think it was here to help us and to let us know that something's going to happen? And I said, that thing could have hurt me.
Yeah.
It could have taken me with it. And I feel that it was here to warn us that the bridge is going to fall.
Okay. So you came from Ohio here to look for it. Is that what you're saying?
I came from Ohio over to Mason, West Virginia.
Right, to look for it.
Which is about 25 miles north of Point Pleasant. And we were familiar with that area because he lived there. And it was right across the Pomeroy Mason Bridge was where we went and up into the hills. And I got home and I told my parents, and my dad said, well, your mother and I were sitting here on the porch and we saw a small UFO come up over the hill and go towards the bridge.
Wow, okay.
And at the same time, my grandmother was calling on the phone for us to run out. She lived in Upper Pomeroy. And she said, if you run out, you'll see it. There's a UFO coming down your way. So there was at least 3 small ones. And this big one.
How old were you at the time?
16.
16, okay. Did you ever talk to anybody else like Linda Scarberry or any other witnesses who saw Mothman?
Faye DeWitt.
Okay.
If you have time, I would suggest you talk to her. She's
Okay.
a wonderful woman. She has a fantastic story.
Okay.
She was a few years younger than me when she saw it, but it's unbelievable. And I think it's wonderful that they have this festival down here. It brings a lot of people together. I walked up and down here just a little bit, and it's arm to arm, and everybody's having a good time.
Yeah.
And it brings a lot of money into the area.
Right.
And as far as the Mothman, I think that he's still around. I mean, it left me with psychic abilities. I had them anyway, but I mean, it really took
What kind of
off.
abilities did you develop
I'm
after that?
a psychic empath. Now, all the time that I was in school, I didn't know what to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
After my encounter, I became a senior in high school, and I didn't want to go back to school because I could feel the students. I could hear things. I could know things, and I didn't want to go to school. But I managed to graduate, and then I worked at Ohio University, and then I realized that I have these gifts. I've talked to many people, many ministers, and I finally, after all these years, come to terms with.
Hey, I'm with Faye Leaport, and she was a witness to Mothman back. When was that?
I have no idea. Kids don't know months, days,
Okay, so you were a
years.
kid. Okay.
I was 14 years old.
Okay, 14. Well, we were into each other at the Bible store last night, so I got to see you before back then. I didn't realize you were a witness.
Yeah.
How cool is that? So what happened?
Linda Scarberry was one of the first ones that saw that thing, whatever it was, and she was telling it in school. And my brother knowed her, and they were in the same grades and class and everything like that. So he wanted to go find it himself. My brother was the person that wanted to top everything. In fact, he did that so much, my daddy nicknamed him Topper because he tried to prove everything was wrong, and he was right. So he wanted to go up there to where she was saying it happened.
T&T
that's
area?
That's how we wound up there. And before we even got halfway after you turned off the main road, there it was, right beside the car. Right where I was at for that.
Daylight, daytime? I mean, nighttime?
No, it was dark.
Dark, okay.
Yeah, because I didn't know what was there until my brother just kept.
What did it look like?
To me, it does look like a bird with a man's body.
Okay.
That's the only thing I say about it. It is not a moth. I didn't see that it looked like a moth.
Did it scare you?
It didn't have muscles like a superhero.
Yeah.
We seen so much stuff on our own. We were left on our own. My parents just didn't care to do nothing with us. And so we just run around in woods and hills all by ourselves where anything could have killed us. And they'd never known and probably wouldn't have cared. And we just saw so much stuff that, that was just chalking it up as another thing happened.
Wow.
That's the only way I looked at it.
How long did you see it for?
For at least, I know, approximately 30 minutes. So if you want to say, we had time to try to say, rub your eyes. Am I really seeing this?
30 minutes, okay. Does it have red eyes?
It sat on our car. After it was beside my car, it hopped up on the hood of the car.
Wow.
Looked right into it.
Was it that close to you that long?
Close.
The full 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it sat there for about 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
And then it just stood up, turned sideways. I thought it was going to kick the windshield.
Okay.
And jumped down off the car, and that building's about as high, more or less like that one, to where it jumped, and I didn't see no wing. That's when I say jump. It may have opened, but it's just too dark. I didn't see it.
Okay.
But
This is in the TNT area?
Yeah.
Okay.
That factory, it went from there to there in no time.
Wow.
Without any effort whatsoever.
Wow.
Sat up there like a gargoyle and watched it. And my brother kept trying to scare him, shoot, shoot. And he got out of the car. I said, get in here. And he got that door open. And he got rocks and stuff and throwing. He couldn't hit the broadside bomb. So finally, a rock landed right by its feet, and it rolled down that tin roof. And when it did, it was a little bit too close. That thing stood up. I thought it was coming after us.
Was this quoted in John Keel's Mothman prophecy? Because that sounds familiar.
I talked to John, but it was after that. So,
Okay. Wow.
I didn't
okay.
meet him to the first and second festival they had.
Okay. All right.
Because I was in North Carolina.
Oh, that's where I'm from. What part?
Oh, really?
Yeah, Charlotte.
Oh, okay. I've been there one time, Charlotte. So anyway, we just went up, jumped down, run right beside us, and there was a fence that kept you out of the bunkers. And so it was growed up with brush, about 6, 7 feet high, all bushed out. And I thought, what's it going to do? Is it going to come after us? And I said, don't move. My brother said, shut up, everybody be quiet, be quiet. And so it ran right by us and looked at that fence and just jumped up. And when it did, the biggest, prettiest set of wings I ever did see in my life. Just went right off.
So it was you and your brother and anybody else?
My twin brother and my sister.
Your sister,
under
okay.
me.
Did you ever talk to any other witnesses like Linda Scarberry or anybody?
No, she told me her story there about, I think it was that festival before she died. I know.
Really? So
and
you
she
didn't
sat
talk to her?
around me all the time, but I didn't know that was her.
Okay. Interesting.
And yeah, so I had just started sitting next to her when we come down for the later festival, and then she was dead and gone after.
You're all about the same age then, right? Roughly?
I have no idea
She was
about that either.
maybe she's about 20 or so, I think. Yeah. You're about 14.
Yeah,
17?
because she was with my brother in school.
Okay.
So they're
And this Linda was 16.
And he's 2 years older than me.
Okay.
So, yeah, they were 2 years older than me.
And that was your only sighting of them?
Yeah, and we came back the next day because he wanted to go up in there and find it. But the military done took over then.
Oh, wow.
And the police and a lot of the town officials. At least that's what I said it was, because it was in suits, the black suits, the sunglasses.
They came in the day after you saw them?
Yeah.
So they weren't there before you saw them?
No.
They came in because of your sighting?
Military come in that evening or that morning and blocked it off and wouldn't let nobody
Did
in.
y'all tell anybody about your sighting? How'd they know about it?
We went to the courthouse like Linda did, told to a police officer, he took it down. And I don't know, I think he just tore it up and threw it away because we were just kids and didn't
And they just
read
showed up out of nowhere, huh?
Yeah. So the next day, we came down here to see Mary that ran the the paper.
Mary Heyer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I call it Free Press, but it's not Free Press. And we told her we didn't like what was printed, that it was a crane, sandhill crane.
Right.
So we know the difference between a crane and what we saw.
Did she print crane or did someone else print that?
That was somebody else's saying.
Okay.
It was trying to find reason for that thing being seen. I told her, I said, no, you're making us look like idiots saying that when we all know what a crane is, and that ain't it.
Right, okay.
So they retracted the story in the next print.
Oh, good, okay.
And said, don't know what it was. Either something got into those chemicals, because there was a chemical supply there. Because that's what that plant was, a chemical plant that furnished stuff for the war. weaponry, powder, anything and everything necessary. And that's why it was fenced off. And they still had dynamite and powder and everything still in them bunkers.
Did anything ever weird happen after that to you?
Yeah, I can't remember if it was before or after the Mothman, because I said kids don't grasp time, days, months, or years. And we saw the UFO right over our heads when we went to get the cows out, because we had to go way up 3 miles up in the woods and over the hills and bring the cows in, about 300 cows so my daddy and 2 other guys could milk them. Twice a day. We got them before we went to school, we got them when we come back from school so they could be milked.
But it was close in proximity to time,
Yeah.
pretty close to it? Okay.
So that's the only thing I figured, because I thought it was odd. I don't, like I said, I don't remember before or after, but I just know there was a Braxton County monster that was seen up around Winfield area. I don't know if that's what it was, because they had 1,000-some people saw that.
Right.
And they had pictures of them and everything, so I don't know if that's what it was, because kids can't place time.
Right.
And so I don't know if it was before what we saw or after, but it was right over us. And my brothers took off and left me. I thought they was trying to scare me. And it just, the light shining from it was about really hot, like a heat lamp. And I thought, what is this light? I even had to put my hand up to look up.
Wow.
Could see it plain as day, and lights come down on the side of the hill where we were sitting. And just as soon as I said, it is. And I no sooner said, I said, y'all better wait on me, because they done run off and left me.
Wow.
It was getting ready to go up.
How long did you see it for?
I looked up and saw it, and just like that, it was gone. And as soon as I said, y'all wait on me, and I looked at, I was going through, so it wasn't there the second look.
Wow.
And it came and it left without a sound.
It was like a saucer shape, or what would it look
Yeah,
like?
oval shape like that, and
Okay.
grayish like at the bottom with lights coming
That
out.
was at
on it.
nighttime or daytime?
Yeah, nighttime. About 2 or 3 in the morning, whatever time you want to call it.
Okay.
Too early for us, because I said we had to go bring the cows in. They had to be milked at 4.
So did the Mothman have red eyes? That's always some people say they
Yeah,
had red eyes.
red
They
eye.
didn't? Okay.
Great big here and go to a point.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. My brother that drove didn't ever want to talk about it
Right.
at all. He just said, I don't care, I don't want to say nothing to her. She's telling it right, listen to her. And he said, I don't want nothing to do with it, because he couldn't prove it was fake. That's why we were there for. He was going to let the world know he proved that was fake. And he couldn't do that. So because of it, he don't want to say nothing.
Wow. Interesting.
Like
Interesting. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Very interesting story.
After the interviews and a failed attempt to get McDonald's, Doug and I went to hear some of the lectures that were going on, including Russell Accord's talk on Bigfoot. Other talks were about ghosts and all kinds of things. Later in the evening, I was able to go on a hayride led by Jeff Walmsley, the museum director and owner, and here are some men in black on the hayride. It was a very fun and interesting, entertaining hayride. There's some aliens hanging out in the woods for us. This is the area where there were some Mothman sightings. I thought it was going to be the TNT area for the hayride, but it wasn't. This is some other areas where there were some sightings, however. And they made it real fun for you, so here comes Mothman flying at you. Because I wanted to see the TNT area, I actually drove over there as it was getting nighttime. And these are the so-called igloos that they stored TNT in and munitions during World War II. And there were lots of Mothman sightings in these areas. One of the main ones was the building in the area that had been torn down. What was interesting is after I saw the TNT area, I got to ride back going the same route that Linda Scarberry and the teenagers who made the first real account back from that area all the way back to Point Pleasant. So had a good time at the Mothman Festival. If you get a chance to go, I'll highly encourage it if you're into that kind of thing. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.